Hi. Today's trip we're going to take right up Pikes Peak, but we're going to go the easy way. There's three ways to get up Pikes Peak. One is you can hike up Bar Trail or run it. There's a race that goes up there every year. Or you can drive the car if you're not worried about drop-offs with no guardrails and lots of hairpin turns. That's a fun way to get up there. But today we're going to take the easy way. We're going to take the train, the cog railway. It's actually called the Broadmoor, Manitou and Pikes Peak Railway, and we'll get into why that is in just a minute. Every week we do another one of these videos about living, working, and playing in Colorado Springs. So to keep up, please subscribe, hit that little bell. Here's my contact information if you'd like to get a hold of me. And let's get into today's program. Cog Railway is the highest of its kind in the entire world. It's the highest train of any kind in the United States. But a cog railway has gears that kind of go like this. And I'll show you a picture of that in a minute, but it's too steep to get up like a regular railway grade. It's much too steep for that. And coming down would be a very bad and short trip because it would be out of control quickly. So this cog railway is designed for very steep places like this. The only company that still makes these is in Switzerland, and that's where we got our newest cars and rails and cogs and everything pretty much. So this was going to be a major undertaking. It took a year to figure out how to do this. Our local billionaire, Phil Anschutz, who also owns the Broadmoor and the World Arena and the Los Angeles Kings and a third of the Lakers and so on, he's rich, put $100 billion into this. So luckily somebody could do this, had deep enough pockets to do this, obviously with some local government help as well, but he put in $100 million for it. So this is a picture looking down. The mountain is behind us now, but we're looking out to the east, sort of towards Colorado Springs. And this is the depot, which has been enlarged. If you remember the old one, you won't recognize it. They've actually got more bathrooms in there, a lot more room. They bought 3 new cars from this Stadler company in Switzerland, and they refurbished 4 of their own. So they're going to go from 2,300 seats a day to 3,600 seats a day. So they run these things every 40 minutes. And it's about a 3-hour trip, round trip, and that includes 30 to 40 minutes on top. But here's what a cog is. It's that you see 3 rails there, the one that's in the middle. If you look close to the edge here, you can see these little teeth. This is what grabs onto the gears of the train to keep it going up when it needs to go up and to prevent it from flying away downhill. So that's why it's called a cog railway. And here's the workers. They started at the top and worked their way down. And so they're above timberline here. Timberline's at about 12,000 feet. These guys are well above that. So this is near the top of the mountain, which is 14,115 feet, according to the current measurement. So yeah, this is a pretty picture taken during the fall, but I wanted to show you here the other tracks coming in. Since there's mostly one-way track here, they have to have a pull-out so trains can get around each other going up and down, because they've always got somebody going up and somebody going down. So this is the way they make that work. So here we are well above timberline, as you can tell, and looking down on 2 of the many reservoirs that are on the sides of Pikes Peak. Can you hear the song going now? Anyway, this is right near the top, and when you get to the top, you get to see this. This is brand new. This is the Pikes Peak Summit House. This was built to higher than LEED standards. It's called Living Building Challenge certification. And you'll see one of the special things they had to do to get this. But this is a spectacular building. Really fits well into the top of the mountain. Lots of glass up there, and there's high winds, hurricane force winds up there, big snows. So they are hoping that they've got this situated just right, so they will not blow out too many windows. Here's the view when you're inside looking back towards Colorado Springs. It's going to be spectacular. It's not quite open as I'm filming this on May 24th of 2021. It'll be open within the next month. Sometime in June, this will be wide open. In the meantime, the train is going up now. This is the old version. This is the one I remember that's been there since 1963. It replaced two previous ones that were up here that burned down in the 50s. And the reason people came into this Summit House wasn't because of its beautiful architecture and great views, but because it had bathrooms and, drumroll, donuts. These were world famous because they're made on top of a 14,000-foot mountain. And if you've ever tried to adjust a recipe for high altitude, they call it laughingly 5,000 feet and up, you add another 2 tablespoons of flour and 1 of water or something like that to get it right. But this is a secret recipe. This is as carefully guarded as the recipe to Coca-Cola, I'm pretty sure. And this is the machine that was up there since 1963, cranking out 700 donuts per hour. So lots of people getting up to the top of the peak, and they really want those donuts because they're only good on the top. If you try and bring these down, they flatten out and so on with the difference in elevation. These are designed to be made at 14,000 feet and eaten at 14,000 feet. And boy, they're pretty darn good. This is the new one. The reason it's called ventless is because of the certification they're trying to get that's above LEED qualifications. And so this one somehow keeps in all the heat and gases and so on. So this is part of the reason it gets this Living Building Challenge certificate. I've never heard of it before, but there you go. This thing was so big that they couldn't bring it in through the doors. And they had the old one up for quite a while. They only recently tore it down. But they had to get this thing in through the openings for those big windows because it was too big for the doors. So they brought it in before the place was built. They had to build the kitchen around it pretty much and everything else too. But I bet they can crank out more than 700 an hour. What do you think? So this is the lower level. There's touch screens that you can play with, visitors, guides, souvenirs. No doubt you can buy a t-shirt or two besides the donuts. So this is going to be open next month in June. And this is the view from the top. You can tell this was taken in the fall. You can see a little gold on the aspens down there. This is looking back, it looks like, to the northeast to east. Colorado Springs is down there somewhere, maybe off to the right. Anyway, a beautiful view and worth the trip up. Hope you enjoyed the trip. I'll have to get back and do it live once they get the thing open at the top. See you on the train. Bye. So that was our trip up Pikes Peak. I forgot to mention the price. It's $58 for adults and kids are $10 cheaper. If you want to reserve a seat, it's $68, and you might want to do that if you want to sit next to somebody for sure. Otherwise, you might be getting a random single seat, which if you're by yourself, that might work out. Also, another thing to mention is the train does not turn around at the top. So if you're going up the mountain and you're looking up towards the peak, when you're coming back down, you're going to be coming down backwards. And just the reverse, if you're going up backwards and seeing the plains unfold below you as the mountain comes up behind you, you will be going down facing forwards. So there you go. See you on the train, like I said. Bye. Well, if you enjoyed that little trip, you might enjoy seeing a couple other videos that I've made here for you. Another invitation to subscribe, hit that little circle. Here's my contact information again. Be sure to leave me a comment and a like at the bottom, and we'll see you next week. Bye.